Friends, the story begins with a small island of Germany, Helgoland, where 513 people were living their lives because a dangerous virus had spread all over the world, due to which many people were killed, and the survivors turned into zombies. To escape these zombies, these people came to Helgoland Island, and here gradually, these 513 people made their own society and started farming and living their lives. But there was very little food to eat, so only 513 people could live on this island, and if even one member grew up here, then these people could have a lot of trouble. Therefore, whenever a child was born on this island, then that person was chosen through voting who could give his life so that the population of the island could be in control. At the same time, now we see some points written on a board in front of the names of all the survivors, which they get when they do some good work, and this way their name keeps going up. But if a person does something wrong, his name goes down. There is also a council committee to manage the people of this island, which has a lady named Superior Beatrice. After this, we are shown the story of 15 years ahead, where the people of the whole city have come to a hospital, because today a girl named Emily is going to give birth to her child. A reporter named Lola was recording this whole scene in her camera. Now, according to the rule, when a child is born, then another person has to give his life, so Emily's father himself decides to give his life and jumps off a cliff. At the same time, in the hospital, after giving birth to a child, Emily is also bringing another child into this world because she had twins. Seeing this, Beatrice holds a meeting of the council committee once again and talks to everyone about this. After thinking for a long time, they decide to vote so that through voting they can know which person to sacrifice. Now, on the other hand, we see two friends named Christian and Hendrik who were looking at their ranking on the board. Seeing that Christian's rank was at number 511, he gets very upset and tells Hendrik that if I am chosen to kill, then I will not give my life. But Hendrik warns him and says that last time a man tried to escape like this, but these people forcibly imprisoned him in a cage and threw him into the sea. After this, we see an old lady named Alice at number 512. Since she was quite old now, everyone considered her to be completely useless. The last person at number 5113 was Etienne, who is a worker, and everyone declared him a criminal. After this, the scene shifts to Marek and his son Linus. Both of them were trying to make a vaccine for the same virus in a lab. On the other hand, we see a lady named Judith who was one of the authorities here. After a while, she goes with Marek to give medicines to all the people in the city, and when they both reach Etienne's house, seeing them, Etienne's wife Lisa gets angry at Judith and tells her that because of her, a hard-working person like Etienne has come to the last rank in the list, and therefore he gets less ration as a punishment. Hearing this, Judith replies to him and says that Etienne had stolen the medicine, so he is considered a criminal. But Lisa tries to make him understand that he was stealing the medicine only for me, because the doctor had refused to give him the medicine. After this, the scene shifts to Emily, who was sleeping in her room. That's when Alice comes and quietly picks up her child and takes him with her. But then Emily's eyes open and she quickly snatches her child from him because she thought that Alice wanted to hurt her baby for the sake of voting. But she tells him that I will never do this. Here Marek hides the medicine from his lab and gives it to a lady named Lauren. But Judith sees him doing all this, so she quickly goes to Beatrice in the supermarket and tells her everything that Marek did. But Beatrice tells her that you don't tell this to anyone because we need Marek right now. But one day we will definitely punish him, and then I will give you his place. Christian and Hendrik are also listening to all this. That's when a child falls here and all his stuff breaks. Seeing this, Hendrik gets an idea and tells Christian that this is the best time to increase the rank. You go quickly and help that child so that you can rise in the eyes of the people. According to Hendrik, Christian does the same and gives his food to that boy. When Beatrice sees him doing this, she is very happy. That's why she announces to give extra points to Hendrik and Christian. That's when Hendrik's eyes fall on Etienne and Lisa, who had come to a store. After Hendrik, he knew very well that Lisa was getting very little ration. That's why he goes to her and tells her that if you want, I can give you food. Lisa refuses to do this, but Beatrice, standing behind, listens to them, and she gets very angry at Hendrik. Here we find out that Hendrik is actually Beatrice's son. After this, we see a patient named Peter in Marek's lab, who was forcibly brought here from the outside world for an experiment, and different vaccines were being experimented on him. On the other hand, Hendrik goes to Lisa and offers her some food, and in return, he tells her to be intimate, but she refuses. But Hendrik still starts moving towards her. Suddenly a siren sounds and he has to leave Lisa and run towards the border because he is a soldier. Here we see that some people are trying to enter the island, who are told by the soldier's leader Mia to return, but they don't listen to him and start cutting the barrier. And seeing this, Mia shoots a man and then everyone starts going back. But Hendrik shoots everyone one by one for his pleasure. Now the voting day comes and everyone votes against Etienne. That means she has to give up her life. But Lisa didn't want that at all. That's why she tells everyone sitting in the hall that my husband is innocent. He was just bringing medicines for me. In addition, she also summarizes that she voted to kill Hendrik because in return for the food, she had said to be intimate with with Lisa. Hearing this, all the ladies in the hall start speaking against Hendrik. That's why Beatrice has to get Hendrik out of the island even though she doesn't want to. After this, the scene shifts to the lab where Peter had died due to too much experiment. Seeing this, Marek feels very bad and he comes home after burning his dead body. Here his son Linus tells him to go to the mainland with Mia's team, but Marek refuses him. But Linus doesn't listen to him, and the next day he goes to his boat with a few soldiers in a biosuit. Now Hendrik was also with them, with whom these people were going to be released as a punishment, and after a while they also reach the mainland, after which a soldier tells Hendrik to get off the boat and go down, but he was not ready to do so. Seeing this, a soldier named Hans hits him in anger, because Hendrik had also done wrong with his sister, and then he quickly runs away from here. On the other hand, on the island, Beatrice goes to meet a chief engineer of a water supplier with one of her employees, because the water meter was broken. When Beatrice is talking to that engineer, then her employee sees a radio, which makes her a little surprised because it was illegal to keep a radio on this island. Now after repairing the chief meter, Beatrice also requests her wife to bring her to this island, but she refuses. Here all the soldiers ask Linus to stop on the boat and leave to roam around the city, where they meet a man named Earl. These soldiers give him some food, and in return, Earl gives them 2 big boxes and some medicines. On the other hand, Linus, who was waiting for all these soldiers on the boat, but when they do not come even after the time is over, then he gets off the boat and goes around the city, where he meets a man named Mosik. He gives Linus a bottle of medicine and says, "I have a ship, which has a lot of such medicines. If you want to drink them, then I can give you." Hearing this, Linus goes with Mosik on his ship, where Mosik shows him a lot of medicines, but he has a condition in front of Linus, and tells him that in return for them, you will have to take me and my friends to your island, after which many people come out of the boat. Seeing this, Linus immediately runs away from here without wasting time. Here all these soldiers are coming towards the boat, then a man comes and attacks a soldier, but at the right time the other soldiers shoot him and kill him and somehow reach the boat. But Linus is not present here. Before they could find him, many citizens start coming to them, because of which they immediately start leaving here without taking Linus. But hearing the sound of the boat, Linus quickly comes out of the ship and jumps on the running boat. But behind him, Mosik also comes, who tries to walk on the boat, but the soldiers shoot him and kill him. That's when their eyes go to Linus's suit, which was torn. Looking at his torn suit, the soldiers feel that he has become infected somewhere, so they give him an injection and make him unconscious here, and after bringing him back to the island, they quarantine him in the lab. After this, Marek comes here to meet his son, then Linus shows him the medicine given by Mosik and tells him everything that happened on the ship. Hearing this, Marek quickly tests the medicine and finds out that this is the real vaccine. So he goes to Beatrice and tells her to send his soldiers back to the ship so that as much medicine as possible can be brought here. But Beatrice refuses to do this because she had suffered a lot of loss in the last trip. Here we see Earl's guards in the mainland, where they find Mosik's body in the water, and they also find a medicine bottle in his hand, after seeing which Earl orders his guards to find more such medicines. On the other hand, we see Hendrik, who was wandering around the city. Then he sees a lady named Velma on the way, who used to help people by giving something or the other. Hendrik goes to her and starts flirting with her, and Velma gets happy with him and keeps him as her assistant. After this, Velma takes Hendrik to a theater, which was actually her house. After this, she starts taking Earl's name in front of Hendrik again and again, to which he asks her about Earl, but Velma doesn't tell him anything. As soon as night falls, Hendrik kills Velma as soon as he gets a chance and takes all her stuff and leaves from here. On the other hand, Beatrice goes to meet Lisa and offers her a job and says that if you give me all the information about this city, then I can give you and your husband a good life in return. Hearing this, Lisa becomes very happy and agrees to this job. But actually, this was just Beatrice's plan. Here, instead of Linus, Judith is put to work in the lab, and when she opens the 2 big boxes given by Earl, a man and a lady are kept in them, on whom Amar was going to experiment a vaccine. Before he could do anything, a soldier dies in the lab and red marks are formed all over his body, which means he was infected with the virus. When Linus looks at his body, he also sees the same marks, which scares him a lot, but he doesn't tell anyone about this. After this, we see a meeting of the council where Beatrice, who is responsible for the death of the patient, tells her husband that she didn't protect her team properly. Because of this, the soldier became infected. So Beatrice reduces his 100 points and sends him to work in the jail as a punishment. Then in the same hall, Lola's daughter Fiona suddenly starts coughing, which makes everyone think that maybe she is also infected with the virus. So everyone runs away from here. But actually Fiona was pregnant, but she was not married yet, so her child will be considered illegal. Because of this fear, she goes to her boyfriend Tom, but Tom promises her that he will take care of her and her unborn child. After which we are shown the lab scene, where due to the experiment, the condition of both the patients was getting worse. And looking at them, Marek says to Judith that we don't have much time, so we have to make the vaccine as soon as possible. Here Earl meets the people of Mosaic on the island and shows them his body, and says that it was killed by the people of the island. If you tell me about the medicine, then I will help you all to stay alive. Hearing this, a man named Spock comes forward and tells Earl that I am ready to help you, but in return you will have to take me to the island. After thinking for a while, Earl agrees to this. On the other hand, Marek goes to meet Mia in the jail and tells her that I can reduce the punishment of your jail, but in return, I want you to go to the mainland and get that vaccine from that ship, but Mia refuses to do this. After this, we see Hendrik, who is caught by a gang of cannibals on the mainland, but Hendrik, lying to save his life, says that he works for Earl. Hearing this, the cannibal gang takes him to meet him, but Earl didn't even know him, so he was about to kill Hendrik. Then he shouts loudly and says that I am Beatrice's son and I came here by mistake. After this, he tells Earl about Velma's death, that she has been killed by the virus, but Earl already knew the whole truth, so he tells Hendrik that you were taken out of the island and you are the cause of Velma's death, not the virus. You killed her. Hearing this, Hendrik sweats because he had understood that it was going to be very bad for him. So to save his life, he tells Earl about all the secrets and doors of the island. Happy with this, he cancels his plan to kill Hendrik. Meanwhile, we see a council meeting where the wife of the water supplier's engineer Kaiso is interviewed because she had a lot of knowledge about medicines. But then the committee members find out that another candidate has also applied for the interview, whose name is Janiela. Janiela is actually a surgeon, so the committee members select Janiela instead of Kaiso, and then she is called to this island. But two people from the other gang come to her ship secretly. Seeing that his wife is not selected, the engineer feels very bad, so he decides to go to the mainland. But Beatrice refuses to do this because she was the only engineer on the entire island who could fix the water system. On the other hand, now Etienne gets a new job in the windmill with the help of Beatrice, where she gets a bottle of wine while working, which she gives to her boss, after which the boss drinks all the wine in the bottle and goes to work. Meanwhile, the engineer also comes with a hammer in his hand and starts breaking all the machines of the windmill in anger. Seeing this, the boss tries to stop him quickly by going up the stairs, but then his leg slips and his leg breaks, after which he is brought to the hospital for treatment, and then Marek does his surgery. But during the surgery, when he looks at Daniela, he sees that she is very nervous, so he asks her the reason. Then Daniela tells him that she is not a surgeon, she just read all this in books. She also tells Marek that she knows that Linus is infected, and that's why she wants to help him. But Marek does not tell the truth to anyone. Before Marek could say anything, Judith comes here and she had heard everything about both of them, so she tells Marek that she will tell everyone about Linus that he is infected. But then Daniela attacks him from behind and kills him, after which Marek and Daniela throw his dead body in the water. After this, the scene shifts to Fiona, who had a miscarriage, and when Marek goes to see her, then Fiona's mother tells her not to tell Beatrice anything about it, and for this Marek agrees. Here, when Beatrice goes to the lab, she sees a broken tooth on the wall. Seeing this, she understands that this tooth is not of anyone else but of Judith, so she immediately goes to Marek and tells him about Judith, that she has disappeared somewhere, and I think it is your hand. On this, Marek answers her very cleverly, that I know that you cannot harm me because you need me. Hearing this, Beatrice calms down, and after thinking for a while, she says that she will put the blame of Judith's death on the engineer, and with the help of Lisa, she shows some false evidence to the people and proves that the engineer is responsible. After this, we see Etienne, who was made the new in charge when the boss finds out about this. He goes to Etienne's house in anger and tells him that you gave me a bottle of alcohol on purpose so that you can take my place. On this, Etienne says no, and the next day he is tied to the engineer's feet and thrown into the sea, and Marek feels very bad, so he decides to go to Linus and tell him the truth. And after this, we are shown the story of 15 years ago, where one day Marek meets Beatrice, who is working in the supermarket, but he does not talk to her much, and comes to his lab where he works with Nurse Lore to make the vaccine. Here, Beatrice takes the supermarket under her control along with some people, and also makes the pharmacy under her control. Meanwhile, her reporter Lola records her video and tries to prove to the people that Beatrice is a perfect candidate to become the leader of this island, but she also knew that Marek works in this pharmacy and can come in her way, so Beatrice offers him that he can make the medicine, but he will not stand against her. Marek agrees to her, but the mayor on the island sends his officers to arrest him, but Beatrice cleverly traps him. After this, the scene shifts to Marek's wife, who is making the vaccine on the mainland. Meanwhile, Beatrice asks Lore to keep 513 people under her control, but Lore refuses because she has to kill more than half of the population. But when Beatrice threatens her, she agrees to it, and then one by one everyone is given the vaccine. But Marek decides to make the vaccine as soon as possible so that people can know the truth about Beatrice. But after 15 years, the scene shifts to the present, where Linus died and Marek records his confession, but Janiela comes and shoots her because she is Earl's gang member. Here Earl starts his future planning, and this series ends here. So friends, how did you like this series? Do tell us by commenting, like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss the upcoming videos. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.